Aaron Katersky joins me live now for more on this. Aaron, given his past criticisms of people taking the Fifth, why do this now? What's the strategy here?
I think there are two reasons. One, you heard him say he didn't have any choice because he believes he's been treated unfairly by all of these legal authorities. But there may be more to it than that, Diane. He is also under a parallel criminal investigation by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office for the very same things related to his business practices. So anything that he said to the New York Attorney General as part of her civil investigation could potentially be used against him and expose him to potential criminal penalties.
Got it. Now, this New York case deals with allegations that the Trump organization misrepresented values of some of their properties, saying one property was more valuable in some circumstances, less valuable in others when it was beneficial to the company. Does this relate at all to some other investigations going on, and how could this investigation impact others?
Really, no, it's wholly separate, and in fact, this one may be farther along than any of the others related to January 6th, or fake electors in Georgia, or classified material down in Florida taken from the White House. The New York Attorney General's office has been investigating for 3 years after Michael Cohen, the former president's one-time fixer and attorney, revealed in congressional testimony that the former president messes with asset valuations. When he's talking to tax authorities, his properties aren't worth anything. That why should he pay any taxes? And when he's talking to lenders, his properties are so valuable that how could you not give him a loan? And that's what Michael Cohen told Congress. And that's what this investigation has to do with. And the deposition of the former president, we believe, according to sources, is sort of the last piece of that puzzle before an enforcement action.
Now, Trump and his allies are accusing the Justice Department of coming after him in this Florida investigation for going into Mar-a-Lago and executing that search warrant. Of course, they needed probable cause, and they needed to get permission from a judge in order to execute that search. So how long before we find out what that probable cause was and what this search was all about?
We may never find out unless the former president is ultimately charged with a crime related to his handling of classified material. So far, the Justice Department and the FBI are sticking to their longtime practice of not saying anything about ongoing investigations as they happen. But we know there are exceptions to that. James Comey and the Hillary Clinton private email server being the prime example. And so there may be, and the Justice Department is under pressure from not only Republicans, but also a number of Democrats to say something. What is this predicated on, to perhaps answer some of the criticisms of the former president and his allies that this is just the FBI unfairly targeting the former president?
And sources tell ABC News that law enforcement agencies around the country are now monitoring threats that seem to be stemming from that search down in Mar-a-Lago. So what is the main concern?
The concern is that FBI agents are going to be harmed, or that the integrity of law enforcement would be undermined by this raid, because the former president and his allies have not been shy about calling into question the motivations of the Biden Justice Department. And here the Justice Department not saying anything except that they're concerned with these potential threats to law enforcement officers as they go about their activities anywhere in the country. And to those who study this stuff, Diane, it is a perilous time.
And we should point out that the FBI director was appointed by Trump, and the White House insists President Biden didn't even know about this raid until after, or the search warrant until after it was executed. But what are the next steps now in both of these investigations, the one happening in New York and the one happening, federally?
So here in New York, the Attorney General's office is really close to deciding what to do. It could be a lawsuit against the former president, in which case his decision to take the Fifth could be used against him. A jury in civil cases would be allowed to make a negative inference about that, so the decision was not without some risk. And it could also be seeking a settlement. Either one could have the former president paying significant financial penalties, depending on how it goes. In the other investigation that's centered down in Florida related to, we think, classified material, we don't know, because the Justice Department isn't saying.
And the accusations are pretty much the same on both in terms of criticisms of these investigations. So despite the fact that they generally can't talk about active investigations, how are these agencies defending against accusations that these are politically motivated?
Well, in the case of the New York Attorney General, the former president made it right to Letitia James's face. They were seated across the table like you and I are now for the better part of 6 hours. Mm-hmm. And he read a statement into the record at the outset where he accused her of having a political motivation. We're told she did not flinch. She did not visibly react. It's been litigated in court. The former president, in trying to get out of the deposition, raised all of these questions about some of the incendiary political things that Letitia James had said about him over the years. But a number of different courts had ruled that those statements were separate from the investigation and that it was properly predicated, and the subpoena that brought him to the table yesterday needed to be honored.
All right, Aaron Katersky, always great to have you. Thank you, Aaron.
Thanks, Diane.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.